Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Nasa Stretch. Today on the channel, we'll be learning how to make the straight cut palazzo trouser. If it's something you're interested in, keep watching. Let's get into this. So I've gone ahead to fold my fabric into two in order to cut out the front, and the width I have here is 15 inches. Okay, so to know the width to cut out for yours, take the round measurement of your upper thigh and then divide that by 2, add extra inches to that. Okay, so I just cut that out. Now going in to mark our other measurement. So for this trouser, I'll be using a 2-inch band for this. I just placed my tape 2 inches outward, and I'll go ahead and mark my hip point. All right, and I'll mark a line, just rule my line at that point. So that's our hip point. So the next thing to mark is the crouch depth. So to get your crouch depth, divide your round hip by 4 and mark that down. Whatever your round hip is, go ahead and mark it down. So I just also placed my tape 2 inches outward, and then I marked my crouch depth, which is 10.5 inches. I just marked it down, and I'll go in with my rule to rule a line there. So I'm just checking the difference I have between my hip and my crouch depth, which is 2.5 inches right there. So yours can differ depending on your hip size and depending on your hip circumference. All right, so that we have those lines down. So the next line we want to get is the knee point. So while you're taking your vertical measurement, ensure to place your tape outwards, whatever inches of band you're using, place that outwards so that you can get accurate measurement. Okay, this is so that when you finish making your clothes and everything, you don't have your crouch area dropping, like sagging. Okay, it gives you a perfect fit around the crouch area. So I just marked my hip point. I'm going ahead to mark the full length. Now after marking the length I want this to end, I went ahead to add 3 inches extra to that. So you can work with 2 inches or 3 inches like I did for mine, to be on the safer side. All right, so we have all our vertical lines down. You can see what we have there. Okay, so I was just confirming that I had what I needed for this. So it is important for you to get your accurate measurement. Like I said, add 2 to 3 inches to your length so that you can be on the safer side while you're hemming the edge of your trouser. You don't want your trouser to be short, or the length, your desired length, to be reduced while you're working on this. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to shape this. Okay, so to do that, from the waist area, which is the top part of our fold, I'll be going in by 1 inch at that point. So I just went in with my tape and then mark 1 inch inwards from the tape. So you want to ensure that your fabric is well folded. Okay, so I went in by 1 inch at that point. You can see my 1 inch point there. Then for the knee area, I'll go in by 1.5 inch. Okay, now this is because this is a straight trouser. It is not a palazzo. It's meant to have some sort of fitting. Okay, so I just went in by 1.5 inch at that point. Then on my full length, I'll go in by 2 inches. All right, so I'll go in with my rule now to connect my points like so. So just watch carefully how I'm connecting this. So I connected from the full length to the knee area. All right, okay, and then next we'll connect from the knee area to the hip point. So you're connecting from the knee area to nothing at the hip point. Remember, we didn't mark anything at the hip point, so the line terminates at the hip point. So when you're marking from the knee point, it terminates at the hip point. Okay, then you connect from your waist to the hip point also. All right, you can see what we have there. I just went in with my curve rule to curve out that area because it was sharp. So this is what we have now. The it simply means that all our measurements will come after the line. Whatever measurement you're taking, you take it after the line. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to mark the waist. So the top part of this serves as our waist point. All right, the top part of our fabric. I'm going to mark down quarter of my round waist, after which I will add 1 inch to that for my dart allowance. All right, then I'll come down to the hip area and I will mark quarter of my round hip measurement also. Okay, then for my flap area, that's the crotch depth, I'll mark the measurement of my round upper thigh divided by 2. Okay, that's what I'll mark there. But before then, I'll just go ahead and connect the line I have on my hip and my waist together like so. Then I'll go ahead and put the measurement I mentioned earlier. So go ahead and take the measurement of your round upper thigh and divide that by 2 and mark it down. Okay, so I will extend this line I have into the crouch area, into the crouch depth line, and then from that point I'll go all by 1 inch, make a mark there, and just use my free hand to just curve it to meet the point I marked. All right, so this is an easy way to get the crouch curve. You can see how simple it is. You can see how neat this looks. All right, so this is what we have. Okay, then on the knee area, I'll take the measurement, half of the measurement around my knee. So you want to take a loose measurement, except you want this to be so fitting. Okay, then for the ankle, I'll minus the measurement, minus 1 inch from the measurement I have around my knee, divide that by 2 also, and mark it at my full length. All right, that is what we'll be using to get the ankle measurement. Now, as I was saying, if you want this to be so fitted, you want this to be so snug around your body, you just go ahead and take a tight measurement. But if you want it to be loose, a little bit loose, like a little bit free on your body, go ahead and take free measurement. Now, the measurements you take determine how your trouser will turn out at the end of the day. If you want a type of trouser that will be so snugged around your body, so form fitting, go ahead and take fitted measurements around your body. But if you want them to be a little bit free, you don't want it to be so fitted, then do like I've done in this video. Okay, so I hope you got that. So I just connected the lines, the marks I made together. Okay, this is what we have. So I will extend the line I have at my full length into my hemming allowance. All right, so we have this here. Okay, so before cutting this out, on the edge part of this, I'm going to make an extension from the hemline. So I'll be going out by 1 inch from that point. I'll just go out by 1 inch at that point. I'll mark it down. I'll repeat the same thing for the other end. I'll go out by 1 inch also. I'll mark it down. Okay, then I will just connect it back to meet the first line I drew for my full length. Okay, so just watch how I'm doing this. Now, the essence of this is so that while you're folding this, you're hemming the edge of your trouser, you don't have any parts shortened. I've noticed that when I make my trouser and I don't do this, the sides will be jumping up, like it will seem short instead of being equal. Is the essence of this. So I advise you to do the same for yours, so that everywhere is same and it is equal. So I just went in with my scissors and I just cut it out. All right, so this is what we have for our front part. Okay, now on the waist area of the front, from the crouch area, we're going down by 1 inch. We'll go down by 1 inch at that point, and then just connect it to nothing at the other end. Okay, later on we'll be cutting this out, but for now we'll just mark this down and keep it aside for now. All right, so we have that down. So I'm gonna head to cut out another piece for my back. So your back needs to be 2 to 3 inches bigger than what you cut out for the front, and 1 to 2 inches longer than what you cut out for the back. Okay, for the front also. So it needs to be bigger in width and also longer in length, right? So I just cut it out. So note that this is folded into two because you'll be needing two sides for the back, and we also cut out the front folded into two also. So I'm going ahead to place my front piece on top of it, ensuring I have allowances at the crouch area. You can see how I'm placing this down. I'm trying to position this properly, and I'm also ensuring I have allowances at the top area of this. You can see, you will notice that the front trouser, the front part is not meeting at the top of the back part. I left 2 inches at the top, all right, and then I left extra inches by the crouch area. It is important for you to leave these allowances because it will be needed, all right. And I just went in to just pin them together so that I'm not moving while I'm working on this. Now for the front, we did not add any allowances to the front, but for the back we'll be adding 2 inches. At the waist area, I went ahead to add 2 inches. At the hip area, I also added 2 inches. So I'm just going in with my rule to extend my lines on my back piece of fabric so that it is easier for me to work with and also easier for you to understand the measurements I'm taking. So from the waist area, just go ahead and extend the lines you have to your back fabric, all right. Okay, so remember I said I used 2 inches, so 2 inches is the seam allowance I added at the waist, I added at the hip, but for the crouch area I'll be using 2.5 inches. So I added half of an inch to the 2 inches I added for the other ends to my crouch area, and then from the other extensions I'll be adding 2 inches, go back to my 2 inches of seam allowance. Now, if you're on a bigger hip side or you have a fuller time, I would advise you add 1 inch extra. So instead of having 2.5 inches like I have at my crouch area, you should have 3 inches at that point. I hope you understand that, understand what I'm explaining. Okay, it's going to make your crouch area to be comfortable. It's not so snugged around that area. I don't know if you feel comfortable with your clothes being so snugged around that area. I don't feel comfortable with it, so it's the reason for it. It has extra breathing space, all right. So I just went in with my rule to connect the points I have made together. You can see how I'm connecting this just like I did in front. So just follow the pattern you did in front. It will help you very well, especially for the crouch area. Just go up by 1 inch and use your free hand to make a connection. So you want to ensure that the crouch for the front and the back are on the same line. Okay, now for the back point, we'll be going up by 1 inch. Now remember, at the front we went down by 1 inch, okay, but for the back we'll be going up by 1 inch. Now the essence of this is so that when you wear your trouser, it's not opening at the back. I don't know if you have those trousers that have those loose feet at the back where if you bend or you sit, your back is open. Now this part helps it to close well. Remember, there's the butt at the back, so if you don't add this allowance, the butt will be dragging the trouser down. So it's essential for you to add this. So I just went in to cut off the 1 inch, went down for the front. So at the front you go down by 1 inch, then for the back, sorry, you go up by 1 inch. Okay, it gives it a very good balance, all right. All right, so this will be having the dart. I just went in to mark my dart, so you just use your bust span, divide that by 2, that's the nipple to nipple measurement, divide that by 2, add half of an inch to that also, and mark it down. So after I marked it down, I just made notches at the front and also at the back point, so you can see what we have. I will just take off my back piece, pin it down and keep it separate. Okay, so this trouser is going to have pockets, but if you don't want yours to have pockets, you can also work with that. So I just marked the wrong side of my fabric so that I'll be sure of this. Okay, now for the front, I'm going to place them again, align them properly and place it down. Like I said, the trouser is going to have pockets, but you can also make yours without pockets. All right, but I always love my trousers with pocket. I am so used to having my trousers with pocket, right? So the what we want to do for our pocket is that from the waist area, I'll go down by 6.5 inches, 6 inches, sorry, for my pocket opening. So depending on what you want, then I'll go in by 2.5 inches, and I will just connect that together in a slanted line. So I think this is moderate enough. It is okay for your bucket to be this way. Your hand will definitely pass through it. Okay. So after doing that, I'll just cut it out. All right. So I'm gonna head to cut out two pieces of fabric that I'll be using for my pocket. Okay, so I'll fold this up and give you the measurement I have while it is folded. So while it is folded, I have a length of 10 inches and I have a width of 8 inches. So you can make yours deeper. All right, I think it should be deeper instead of it being wider. All right, because it contains more things and your hands can go into it properly. Now, to trace this out on our fabric, I'm just going to place this on top of it. Like, I place the wrong side facing up, and then I place the front part of my trouser on top of it, the front part of my fabric on top of it, and I'll just go ahead and trace it out. So it's not sewed yet, so it's not a trouser, it's just fabric. All right, so I just got it out. You can see what we have there. So we're going to get right into stitching this. We're going to bring one part of the pocket, the one that matches it. So while placing this, ensure you're placing this right side to right side. Go ahead and then stitch it down, after which you flip it over and give it a very good press. Go ahead and impute your darts. All right, so for the dart, the front part, my dart is going to be 4 inches long. That is what I'll be using for the front. I'm going to be using a dart of 4 inches length. Then the back will be 5 inches. All right. So I just went ahead to do that, stitched my dart, I've stitched my pocket, as you can see. So I don't know for you, I think it's important to iron your dart, okay? It gives it a more relaxed feel, it makes it look neater, especially with the kind of fabric I'm using, which is crepe. So for the pocket, I also stitched it down. You can see how neat this is looking already. Okay, this is our pocket. So now to close this up, I will just fold this back into itself and ensure that what I have around the waist is aligning with what I have for the pocket. Then there will be some excesses left out. So you can see how this is. So this is the excess you should have for yours. So this is the pocket opening. Go ahead and stitch it at the top. Then turn it over to the wrong side and then close the down part of this. So I've done that. And I also ironed it. Okay, so while working with some certain fabrics, while working, it's important to iron, especially with crepe. So you can see how my pocket looks like. This is the pocket opening. So like I said, the measurement I took would be good for it. All right. Now for the back, I just went ahead to place my darts of 5 inches length. Remember, I said it to be 5 inches at the back. I just went ahead to place it down. Now to join this together, I'll place the right side of my front piece down facing me, and then I'll place the right side of the back facing it. So just place this right side to the right side, aligning the sides where you have the pocket area. Go ahead and stitch it down. So this is it after I stitched it down. You can see how this looks like, and I also went ahead to iron it out. All right, so this is the pocket opening. That is our front because it has the pocket, and that is the back. So I repeated the same thing for the other side, joined it together, did the necessary things I needed to do. So I'm going to place both of them together and go ahead and stitch the front crouch together. So I've done that. This is what we have after I finished doing that. So the next one to do is to stitch the back crouch. Okay, we've already stitched the front, so we're going to stitch the back crouch right now. Okay, so you'll be asking how we're going to take off the excesses of allowances we have, especially at the waist. So this is the essence of it. All right, so to do that, you just take the measurement after the stitch you have for your front crouch around the waist. Take your measurement from there, divide your round waist by 2, and then mark the excess you have at that point. Okay, just like I did. So if your round waist is 30 divided by 2, you have 15. So go ahead and mark it down. then curve it with half of an inch into the crotch area, just like you see me doing, and go ahead and stitch it down. So I've stitched it down. I also ironed it. This is what it looks like. So the next thing we want to do is to align our crotch together. We're going to stitch it down. So you're going to place this together, ensuring that the lines are meeting properly. Pin it down so that it is aligning. Go ahead and stitch it to the right, and also stitch it together to the left. So just make a stitch to the right and make a stitch to the left side of this. So I've stitched it down. You can see how this looks. This looks nice already. It's looking so pretty. Our trouser is looking pretty. So you ask yourself, where am I going to fix my zip? Now you can fix your zip anywhere. It can be by the right side, it can be by the left side, wherever you choose to. But I want to fix my zip at the back. I don't think I have a trouser with a zip at the back. So I'm deciding to fix my zip at the back. So I just went ahead to lose that allowance I have at the back. I'm going to lose it to the point where I want my zip to get to. So I want my zip to end up at 7 inches. Okay, so I just loosed it down to that point, then made a mark there so that I can indicate that point. So the eye there is for you to lose it. So you can also fix it at the right side of your trouser, at the left side. That's where you have the pocket areas. You can fix your zip at those areas. It totally depends on your preference. So I went ahead to cut out a band for this. I ironed my hair stay to this, and I folded one end. So I'll go ahead to sew this way, stitching it wrong side to right side firstly, and then I'll flip it over to the front and then stitch it down. Okay, after which I'll fix my zip. So this is what it looks like after I finish. You can see how nice this trouser turned out. Let me know what you think about this, and if you were yet to subscribe to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.